Jnana Yoga Nishtha, who has attained the Superconscious Meditative Union. Tattva Vidyoga Yuktatma Karomi iti na manyate Ekashanindriyani Kurvanti karma sankhya. Sri Gajanan Prabhu says, one who has knowledge of the principles continues to perform karmas. Since they are done in a witness attitude, they are not binding on him as the Atman. Just as all functions of the body takes place according to the nature of the body, similarly, all karmas are in consonance with the principles of his preordained destiny. The understanding by the knower of principles is that its doership does not in any way come to me. The 11 sense organs and organs of action keep doing karmas as per the previous practice. The witness state alone remains in our awareness. The same thing is experienced by the yogi who has accomplished the superconscious meditative union. Due to this, one has the actualization up to Aham Brahma. Tat sarvamarpayed Brahma api karma karoti yaha nalipyate punya papair bhanur yatharthagaha. Reiterating, the sadhak who maintains a witness attitude does not get bound by his actions. Even though there is an awareness that everything happens through me alone, still all actions take place through the organs of action according to his preordained destiny, and if the fruits thereof are surrendered, then that is enough. This is the glory of Karma Yoga. For such a Karma Yogi, there is no bondage through those actions. Just as the sun illuminates all things within the range of its rays, it looks as though there is a connection with those things. Under the impact of those rays, all things, good or bad, water or other objects, rise, subside and get absorbed. It may be fragrance or foul smell, all appear to come from the sun's rays, but nothing happens to the sun. The absence of connection of karma to the Karma Yogi and the absence of bondage of its fruits has to be understood just as the sun and its rays. Kayikam vachikam bodham indriyam manasam tadam tyaktva shana karma kurvanti yogajñas chitta shuddhaye. How an immature sadhak attains Karma Yoga? How is Karma Yoga important and useful for an immature sadhak? A sadhak who is desirous of attaining the state of Brahma makes efforts accordingly. An immature sadhak can find it useful by steadfastly resolving to do Karma Yoga. Who is an immature sadhak? One who has anxiety to achieve the state of Brahma, but he has not yet attained the eye of wisdom to free himself from all his tendencies, is an immature sadhak. He should consciously perform all actions according to his own dharma. Actions that occur through the body are called kayik karmas, while actions done through speech are called vachik karmas. Karmas can also take place through the sense organs or as thoughts and imagination. The actions that require intellect are intellectual karmas. We have to take into account only the positive actions. The tendency should be towards actions which are in alignment with good karmas. The words that one utters should only be the truth. Speech should be used for the study of shastras, chanting the names of gods, reading of stotras from the scriptures, and such other actions. This is vachik karma. Those who think and imagine or worry a lot about all kinds of things are engaged in mental karmas. They should be directed towards good actions. A number of ideas come up in the intellect, but one should give up all of them and entertain only the awareness of the inspired actions in the service of Ganesha. These are intellectual karmas. In this manner, there are 5 types of actions that should be done without any expectations of fruits. They should be done only with the intention of attaining me. A person who does this is a knower of yoga. His mental vital consciousness substance gets slowly purified and he then attains psychic powers in yoga. Later, he attains me. Yoga hino nara karma falehaya karotyalam badhyate karma bijaisa tato dukkham samashrute. Sri Gajanan Prabhu says to King Varenya, the mental vital consciousness substance of an ordinary human being is always hankering after sensual pleasures. As a result, his mind matter gets defiled, which makes him do all kinds of things, irrelevant actions. But he does the 5 actions described above. The dirt from his mental vital consciousness substance gets wiped off, and thereafter the eye of wisdom gradually dawns on him, resulting in the experience of Brahma. So, the importance of Karma Yoga is that it is the savior of all people. Sri Gajanan Prabhu says, even though ignorant people may entertain desire for permanent happiness, but due to delusion, they run after sensual enjoyments and go about doing good deeds with excitement and intensity. Even when a discriminative jnani tries to make them understand, they do not pay heed to it, as their mind is already tainted due to past actions. Therefore, the advice does not appeal to them. The karmas are founded on greed to enjoy the fruits of those actions, and therefore they bind them. Besides, they get engrossed in the enjoyment of the fruits of their actions, and the moment the enjoyment ends there is a downfall. The cycle is then repeated, and so a sadhak who does good karma with desire for fruits has no escape. But when he surrenders those actions and fruits to Brahma, the deed, doer and the fruits all melt away. Therefore, in the conduct of Satkarma, the cycle of birth and death continues as before, which is the greatest drawback. That is not yoga. Doing good deeds with desire is binding on an individual, and in the end, he is only steeped in sorrow. This sorrow is the reason why Karma Yoga is beneficial. This alone leads one to attain Jnana Yoga Siddhi. Manasa sakalam karma tyaktva yogi sukham vaset nakurvan karayan vapin dhanashvabre supattane. Sri Gajanana Prabhu says, it is only after the accomplishment of Karma Yoga, through surrender to Brahma, that one should connect to Jnana Yoga. If a sadhak takes the support of Jnana Yoga without following the sequence, then he does not succeed. On the contrary, there is a retro effect. This struck a chord in King Varenya. He says, I understand that Karma Yoga is the savior and one should do it fully and then alone undertake the spiritual practice of Jnana Yoga. Even though this is clear, I still feel that for the same reason, Jnana Yoga is inferior. To clarify King Varenya's doubt, Sri Gajanana Prabhu says, the simple rule followed for instructions is that a person's capacity to understand is the yardstick for teaching. Then only it is followed meticulously, and there are results too. If an enthusiastic sadhak who is not really eligible or does not have the capacity comes to learn, then he should be taught easy lessons. But if he knows that the lessons is small or easy, his faith will not last long. This will prevent him from practicing with vigor. Hence, an intellectual person assesses the deservingness and the non-deservingness of the sadhak, tells about the excellent spiritual tools that are available, and then begins his instruction. Therefore, Jnana Yoga is greater than Karma Yoga. The practice of Karma Yoga with steadfastness extends from Brahma with attributes to Maya who is united with Brahma. Therefore, it is the origin of the 6 types of changes Since it is the reflection of Jnana Brahma, it causes delusion. But this is transitory, because the illusion of attachment to changes in reality is a reflection of that which is devoid of any changes. Still, its connection to changes has been stuck to it. But the truth is that Jnana Brahma, devoid of any changes, is the form of reflection. If we accept this, then the form of the Atman in all is distinct from Karma Brahma. If I am the Absolute, the one Atman in all, then where did Sarvatma come in me? All these ideas are due to transitory delusion. When this is firmly fixed in mind, all reflections vanish and the sadhak attains meditative union. Such a person is truly a Jnana Yogi. Once this thought is firmly established, he should rest with the resolve that the karmas of the body have no connection whatsoever with me. The differences of doer, deed, hold reality only for an ignorant person. But for a Jnana Yogi, who is always detached, there is complete understanding of life's journey as preordained destiny. Hence he is totally happy. If by chance destiny grants him the role of a king due to the merits earned earlier, then he is aware that it is the fruits of good deeds that he is now enjoying. He is neither overly excited nor does he avoid the duties that go with it. If the Jnana Yogi is living in a lonely forest or cave, he will be content with the understanding that this is his preordained destiny to be in that situation. Where is the need to worry or feel sorry about it? In short, a person who is detached and who does not have any taste for anything anywhere, then both places are the same for him. Sri Gajanan Prabhu says, "Hey Raja, one can actualize meditative union in Jnana Yoga only after cementing steadfastness in Karma Yoga. With the actualization of Aham Brahmasmi, the sadhak becomes detached. He maintains that he has no relationship whatsoever with the jiva or the reflected Atma within the body, through which all actions are done. With this resolution, one should remain at peace. Therefore, the state of a Jnana Yogi is such that I am not doing anything or getting anything done. If due to destiny he lives in a big town or in a cave in the forest, he remains happy and content in both places, because the reflected Atma in the body is in the predetermined state, earned by merits through his earlier karmas. He is not affected by any kind of connections. Therefore, he lives as though he is devoid of all joys and sorrows." Sri Gajanan Prabhu goes on to explain how he has no relation with the reflection. Na kriya na cha kartutvam kasyachit srijyate maya na kriya bija samparkah shaktya tat kriyate khilam. Sri Gajanan Prabhu says, when a Jnana Yogi becomes highly resolved internally that I am the absolute Brahma and there is no possibility of any differences or no differences have been created or will be created from me, that I am always and forever completely different, then there is no possibility of different actions, as I am the absolute Atman. I am always and forever absorbed in self-bliss. Therefore, the fruits of all the actions also do not come to me. It is the self-willed play of Siddhi and Buddhi, form of Maya, who is the doer of all these things through their own strength, and this feeling is always present in a Jnana Yogi. Since I am forever one with self-bliss, no merit or sin of anything or any action can ever touch me. One should understand that now my reflection has fallen in the power center of Maya, who is the creator of all play in the world. And that is why all actions, doer, etc. take place. Although it appears as though that the one who gets all these things done is Vainayiki Maya, still I, the Atman, the absolute knowledge in nature, have the necessary capabilities due to proximity to that Maya. Otherwise, she does not have any capacities. Since I am always different, all merits and sins that occur, whether auspicious or not, are not binding on me. That is why I am called Vibhu. Those who have no knowledge about my being, the absolute knowledge, are deluded in intellect. Immersed in the enchantments of the world, they think of me or the Atman to be the doer. It is only those who are conscious souls, who are devoid of any enchantments, that this light of knowledge dawns. Shri Gargya Maharshi says in his commentary, in order to narrate about his form as mass of absolute knowledge, Shri Ganaraja Prabhu says to King Varinya, although all actions and doership happens due to my reflection falling on Maya, the actions that are happening through that reflection are not done by me. I do not have any connection even with what inspires her to do the actions. Contemplation in this manner about one's experience is known as Jnana Meditative Union. Through the strength gained by the rigorous practice of this meditative union, the obstacles due to the fruits of auspicious and inauspicious actions in the form of joys and sorrows do not affect at all. This is because everything is illusory. This is all predetermined. Here a doubt may arise that it is due to the reflection in the body that all actions are taking place, and it is the result of its few fruits that one gets into the cycle of birth and death. The reply to this can be found in the words Nakriya bija samparakha Maya srujayate in the original shloka. The meaning is that all that is happening is due to the effect of Maya. The mass of knowledge that is a Paramatma is always detached from it. If we take the example of the sun and its reflection on the water on earth, then when the surface water is disturbed, the reflection of the sun is also shaken. Does that affect the sun in the sky? Not at all. One should understand this also in the same way. Those whose minds have become defiled due to the impact of Maya's behavior are the ones whose minds are in delusion by the illusory nature of our enchantments. They are unable to understand the true nature of the reflection, and that is their foolishness. From this shloka, it is also possible to understand Aham Brahma, which is beyond Sat and Asat natures. The entire field of actions is the nature of Asat Brahma, and the inspiring doership is experienced as Sat Brahma. Finally, their relationship is stated as Kartutvam Nasrujyate, meaning the duality between them does not rise again. The extraordinary Sat and Asat nature leads to Aham Brahma. Kasyachit punya papani nasprishami vibhurnrupa jnana muda vimuhyanti mohenavrita buddhaya. Shri Gajanan Prabhu says, after accomplishing Karma Yoga and actualizing Brahma, the actual Jnana Yoga Nishtha gets accomplished because the illusion of karma, the fruits, doership all go away. In such a sadhak, the discriminatory intellect gets fully illuminated. Therefore, there is no possibility of being deluded by Maya. For reference, we have this example of the sun in the sky. Its reflection in the water is seen clearly, but does someone think that the sun has fallen into the water? Certainly not. It is merely due to the illusion of the reflection in the water that it appears like that. The sun neither comes nor goes. In the same sense, one should understand the absolute mass of knowledge of the Atman. Vivekanatmano jnanam yesham nashitamatmana tesham vikashamayati Jnanamadityamavatparam. Here, those who have used the strength of their discriminative intellect as instructed are the ones in whom the knowledge is fully illuminated. This is how a sadhak who is steadfast, Jnana Yogi, should maintain his state. After such a sadhak attains the experience of Brahma, following his steadfastness in Jnana Yoga, his body is present till the goal of his destiny is achieved. Auspicious and inauspicious actions take place and it results in experiences and fruits. So enjoying what happens according to one's destiny and maintaining only the relationship of a witness is required of a sadhak. When one lives in this manner, the possibility of obstacles in the form of falling from yoga, etc. are not possible. One also attains complete psychic powers of Jnana Yoga. Nishtha madhyo ityantam macchitta mai tatparaha apunarbhava mayanti vijnana nashitena saha. After the attainment of psychic powers of Jnana Yoga, one actualizes the Atma Ganesha, and therefore the Jnana Yoga Nishtha Sadhak should necessarily repose all their faith in me. The intellect should be continuously attentive and vigilant. Matters concerning material enjoyment, which are illusory, should not be brought into the intellect at all. He should continuously contemplate on my form and the nature of absolute knowledge. The sadhak who is alert regarding the body, speech, mind and intellect gets an unprecedented momentum in his evolution. A person who has assumed the siddhi of knowledge, that life goes on according to its destiny, about which I have no duty, soon has his obstacles of ignorance burnt out. Thereafter, his steadfastness becomes completely established and he proceeds to attain the liberated state while living. Then he gets completely liberated from the bondage of Maya and her attachments. That yoga sadhak is a yogindra who, after the death of the present body, becomes one with Ganesha. After that, he has no bondage of any kind whatsoever. Mahamaya gets created out of the self-will of Parabrahma for the purpose of play in this universe. On completion of the play, she once again gets absorbed in the abode of Paramatman. The gap during which this occurs is known as Mahakalpa. Several such Mahakalpas have come and gone, but the Yogindra Sadhak, who was absorbed in the abode of Ganesha, does not go anywhere. This is the best result of the psychic powers attained through steadfastness in Jnana Yoga. We then look into the experience of Sama Brahma in the next audio.